the view in the administration and their allies is talk about tariffs differently. Don't talk about them as long term. Don't talk about them as punitive. Talk about them as a package of strategies and tactics to bring back the American economy, to make things more fair. Don't make it seem like they're going to go on forever. That's the change in the rhetoric. Bessent-led conversation. You see it in the president's tone. And people say it's driven by markets, and people say it's driven by criticism from Europe or whatever, or from business leaders. Here's one thing that's driving it: polling. Okay. Here's the Fox poll from yesterday, came out last night, 108. Okay. And you can bet the president and his team have seen not just the private polling, but these public polls. 108, please. This is Fox job performance for the president on a range of issues. And if you go all the way down, the second to the bottom, tariffs, disapproval, 58, only a third of the country amongst the people Fox polled registered voters, a third approve of the president's job on tariffs. That is abysmal, right? That's abysmal. Same kind of numbers in Pew, 109, which is here, approve, disapprove of Trump's job performance on tariffs. Again, roughly the same numbers, 40% approve of the job he's doing. Still abysmal for something that's dominating the news. So, Dan, is it enough to turn these numbers around? And by the way, when people say, well, the president's numbers are down on even on immigration, I think the tariff thing has been so big in the news and so top of mind for folks, along with inflation, that it's driving his numbers down on everything. That they're not saying they disapprove of tariff of his immigration policy. It's just driving him negative amongst independents in particular down. So they're saying disapprove, disapprove, disapprove to these pollsters. Is it enough for the president to talk about tariffs differently and pursue the same policies, or does he need to change the policies to get these numbers back up?
I'll just quickly say on immigration, I saw the first poll. It was YouGov asked specifically, should Garcia be returned or should he remain in El Salvador? 51% said he should be returned. 29 said he should remain there. I know you think it's bringing down everything tariffs, but I'll say again, I do not see any data that supports the president's policy. Doesn't mean Democrats are benefiting. I think we're hanging ourselves a little bit.
All right. But okay. let me just say on Garcia. Washington Post story. Very few people out there in AP, very few have reported this, so it's undercovered in the news cycle. The judge last night basically took sealed motions from both sides, and it appears from the few things that are public that he may be coming back to the United States. That negotiations are going on with El Salvador to bring him back. Not that he's going to be free, and it's going to put Democrats in a crazy position because some of them are going to give him a hero's welcome when he comes back, and that's not going to be good. Anyway, Dan, keep going on tariffs.
Yeah, either that or they see the same polling. Look, I think the messaging that they're now shifting towards, that this is necessary and the problem is just reality. The reality of what they want to do is likely to be slowing corporate profits, layoffs, and an increase in inflation. There's just no getting around that. And so I think they can message all they want. They can try to reassure, but just the real world and the markets, and I don't just mean the stock market, I mean just day-to-day business, is dictating this isn't working and it won't work.
Sean.
So I will say this, and I'll tie both of the immigration and the tariff issue together for a second. First of all, I will say, while I think this is absolutely horrible policy, if Abrego Garcia comes back on U.S. soil, Democrats are going to own that. That is something that I will tell you, that issue will flip on a dime. The idea that you are going to be advocating for a gangbanger, a wife abusing, illegal alien to come back into this country, God bless you guys if you think that that's going to help politically. Secondly, where I think that there's a problem both on the tariff issue and on the immigration issue is a lack of consistent messaging. Okay. Chris Wilson, who will be on my show tomorrow night, has a brand new deck out. And what it shows is that when the issues are framed in specific ways, they are popular. I think the problem the administration's having, specifically on tariffs, is what we've talked about before. Is it to bring, to create more of an onshoring of manufacturing back to the U.S.? Is it an issue of fairness? Is it an issue of deficit reduction? People will buy into the idea of an onshoring, bringing manufacturing back in fairness. I think they've got to be more consistent on the messaging, but when you look at it in those frameworks, it actually is a winner.
I think the only challenge is it's a winner in the abstract. It's not a winner in reality. If you said to people, you're going to have prices go up 10% by September, or we're going to try to reshore. Don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, let me say one thing about polling, then I got to double back because I never did do the daybook because we jumped right into Ukraine, and then we're going to talk about a new issue. Folks, I'm not a big believer in all polls, and I understand why there's skepticism about polls, and polls are sometimes wrong. But I don't read the chat, but I glance at it. To call polls you don't like because they run against your side, fake polls, is really, really silly. Okay? Every poll is showing the same thing, and the polls are not biased. These polls aren't biased. And by the way, the private polling is showing the same thing. So if you want to say it's fake news or fake polls, when Fox and Pew and private Republican polling shows the president's job approval on tariffs is down, you're putting your head in the sand and you're ignoring data and facts and truth. Just because you don't like a poll to reflexively say the poll is wrong, it's just silly. Shouldn't do it. It's silly. Hey, want to be part of the two-way community all the time? Hit the subscribe button. Great video clips like this, plus conversations like no other, full episodes and more, always available on this channel. You got to hit subscribe to never miss a thing.